I recently came across a quote which I found particularly interesting as it pertains to me in so many different ways, and I would imagine that it probably applies to you as well. So I felt like it was good enough for me to share, and I'm going to read it along with its meaning so I don't mess it up, all right? So, to know and not to do is not to know means I almost messed it up even while reading it. Let me read it again one more time. To know and not to do is not to know. All right. And it just basically simply means, possessing knowledge without taking action based on that knowledge is essentially the same as not knowing at all. Okay. This I found so interesting, and here's why. Like, let's just say in relation to myself as an example, as how it pertains to me, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. If someone could basically, someone can, they can know how something is done, right? They can know how something is done. I know how certain things are done, right? Especially when it comes to, like, let's just say selling digital products, which is what I, like to talk about a lot on this channel, right? Digital marketing, affiliate marketing, and all that type of stuff, right? Now, I know how to do it, right? But then when it comes to hitting certain numbers, right? Like, let's just say how to make 6 figures in a year, right? I know how that's done. Like, I know how people actually do it, right? And it's something that I have, wanted to be able to do, or wanted to do for myself, right? To actually prove that I can actually do it, as opposed to, I don't want to say pretending, but as opposed to, like, thinking that I know how to do it, right? It's one thing to know how to do this stuff. It's another thing to actually do it. And basically that quote is essentially saying, if you haven't done it, then you can't claim to know it, right? And that kind of hit me. I was like, well, to a certain degree, I can accept that. I can work with that because, theory is one thing, right? And this is one of those things that really used to get to me, especially when I was in the early stages of trying to learn how to do all this stuff, right? What you really used to get under my skin is a lot of these videos where people were sharing, talking about stuff, whatever that particular thing is that I was trying to learn in relation to digital marketing, whatever the case may be, or how to make a certain amount of money. They would share all this information and share all this stuff where I could clearly tell that they hadn't actually done it themselves, right? Because I knew enough, right? I knew enough about the subject matter to be able to tell that they hadn't actually done it themselves, and they were just simply regurgitating theory that they had seen from maybe somebody else that has actually done it, or maybe somebody else that hadn't actually done it, right? And it's just the cycle repeating itself over and over. And that is a lot of things that a lot of beginners, a lot of people getting started with all this stuff can relate to, right? When you're trying to learn something, especially when you're in a place in a sea that is filled with all kinds of garbage and people, lying essentially, right? When you're learning, you want to know that you're learning from somebody that has actually done what it is that they're teaching you, okay? Right? So I looked at that and I was like, man, this is, like that, that imposter syndrome starts kicking in at some point, right? And I'm sure you have a lot of things in your life that you've probably wanted to do, right? And you have a general idea, or at least you think you know how to do them, right? But you've never actually done it. So can you actually, claim or have a full grasp of what it is to actually do that thing, right? Let me know in the comments. I'll really find it to find it interesting to know what your perspective is on that, right? And I say this because how many times, like, I had all these keyboard warriors, right? They're always quick to come and tell you, oh, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong, or you need to do this like this in order, and then you go look and they don't have they don't have any any ground to stand on, any backing to stand on what they're talking about, right? They will, people may criticize you or tell you that you're doing this right or wrong and all that type of stuff, and they are just basically talking based on what they think they know. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So this brings me back to the whole idea of being careful about who you listen to or who you learn from when it comes to trying to learn whatever it is that you're trying to learn. Okay. People who haven't actually done what you're trying to do will, the information that you get from them is always going to leave you to have a little bit of doubt. Okay, it's always going to leave you to have a little bit of doubt, which means that when you're actually going through the process of trying to do what it is that they've told you, you're not going to be able to fully commit. Okay, there's always going to be that element of doubt in your mind, right? Which is why when I go to start doing stuff, or I'm trying to learn stuff in relation to all this online business and all that type of stuff, for me it is extremely important to see somebody actually doing the thing that they're talking about, that they're teaching. And because that was something that used to get under my skin, that is why I try to make an effort to do like live case studies or show people in real time some of the things that I'm actually trying to do. And I will admit that I have actually been slacking on that in terms of some of the things that I've set out to do, many of which I've shown on this channel, right? I've started doing some stuff and I'm showing you in real time, right? When I say slacking, I mean like slacking in terms of like the updates that I provide, showing the whole process, right? So that's going to be something that I'm going to be looking to fix, okay? Looking to do better, going forward, all right? So, and I know, and I'm only saying this because I know how much that really meant to me, how annoying it was to me when I was trying to learn like stuff, especially the stuff related to selling digital products on ClickBank and stuff, right? You'll have people come create all these fake, they'll fake screenshots, or old screenshots of stuff that, maybe might have been working in the past, but is no longer working now. Right. So that's just, I saw this quote. I saw this quote really fairly recently, and it kind of hit me, and I was like, you know what? I think this is worth sharing. Let me know in the comments some of the things that you might have, some of the things that you want to do, and you think in your mind that or at least in your mind that you know how to do, but you haven't actually done them yet. Okay. Let me know in the comments, because here's the other thing too. If you haven't done it before, right, and you feel like you know how to do it, right, why haven't you done it, right? And I think there's that element of fear in there that makes you feel like what if it doesn't work, right? And then now all of a sudden you'll be disappointed or exposed to the fact that, okay, what you actually thought you knew, you really didn't know, or disappointed by the fact that this thing that you actually wanted so bad for you to work didn't end up working. So all of a sudden now you find yourself just constantly procrastinating because you don't want to face the reality of the fact that you don't actually know what you're talking about. You don't actually know that thing that you think you know, right? So that's just, I just felt like that was something that this quote was something that I just felt like was worth sharing. But anyway, it's getting dark. I think I've rambled for more than enough. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me flap my gums at this point, but thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch. If you actually made it this far, if you're one of the few, and I say that very deliberately, like if you're one of the few that actually made it this far, I salute you. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments. Say salute in the comments. If you say salute in the comments, then I'll know that you're one of the few that actually made it this far in the video. Anyway, if you would like to learn how to get started selling digital products, whether it's your own that you created or as an affiliate selling other people's digital products. Check out the first link in the description below this video. It will show you how to do just that from A to Z. Alright? Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Ciao.